Welcome back. This is Lis Nielsen, artist in the woods, and today I am painting a really sweet scene I want you to see. This is Angel Island. I'm focusing on the values, not so much on the color. If you go to a gallery and look at the different ways that different artists have used color, you'll like a variety of ways. Color isn't really the important thing in a painting. We see color differently, we interpret color differently as artists, but if we get the value combinations down right, this value versus this value versus this value, and looking at it in terms of the angle to the light. This object here has a lot of shadow on it. The light is mostly behind it, and so you have to think about that when you paint it. And I'll probably enhance the colors in the sky. I'm looking at this as a sky painting. I'm focusing on that. Painting is about study, hard work, practice, and a lot of bravery to pick up the brush each day. I mix up color value puddles on my palette with the knife for each important shape or area of the painting. Once on the palette, I can see all of these different color value puddles together, comparing them to my scene, checking for accuracy of value and temperature. When I'm mixing for these shapes, the value color, I look at the shape with squinted eyes, and I then choose the right color, the general color and value. I start with that. I am also mixing up the shadows and always comparing. Later, I can go back and add some highlights to these areas, making slight changes here and there. Some of the value areas in this painting are very, very close, and so I really have to squint my eyes and look at that. Also, the color temperature is close, and so there will be very, very slight variation. Okay, I'm gonna start drawing this out. My dimensions of the canvas are different than the photo dimensions. Therefore, I will be scrunching it a little bit just to fit in the parts that are important to me in the scene for my composition. I make a mark for my halfway point on the canvas side so that I draw my mountains and water below that line and actually make them using a smaller amount of space on the canvas than the sky, because the sky is my main event in this painting. I want to make the sky stand out above all else. When I choose a place to draw the moon in, I also put that in off center. We don't put things central, usually something important in the center. Sometimes that rule gets broken, but not usually. I put the dark blue in under what's coming on top of things on the water. So the dark will be underneath, and then I will add lighter hues on top and variation on top of the dark. And that seems to work out well with the ocean water. I also am planning on leaving it fairly simple, not a lot of variation in that. Because this is a very well-known landmark in the San Francisco Bay Area, I want to adhere to the shape of the mountains on the island, on Angel Island, because I do want people to recognize it. You know, I don't want to be painting some other area, even though it has inspired me. Usually I use mountains and landforms to inspire me to paint, and then I can change things. And in this case, I'm not changing the shape of the island. What I'm doing here is bringing the level of the mountain down from the halfway mark. It got a little too tall for that, and I want to make sure I stay below the halfway mark. For compositional purposes, I want to make sure my composition is good. You start thin with the paint, and you begin to build it up layer by layer. You want to get enough paint on the canvas, and you can add variations within that, but start with a thin layer of paint. Also, you don't want to put blue under where you're going to put the lighter colors of the sky. It will make it muddy, and right away it'll be darker than you want it to be. So I'm leaving those areas without blue on them. This is going to be a little more color than what I actually need, but it will be a nice base coat of color that I can mold and change a bit here and there. I mix the sky colors, generally cool, with the clouds and the distance. I am trying to put some blue into those mixes, even if they don't look like that. It looks a lot more realistic in the painting if they are cooler. So I had mixed the color up, and then I realized that it needed more blue mixed into it. You don't have to paint the sky exactly as you see it in the photo or out in the scene. Always think of your design and your composition first, but use the elements that you're seeing out there as inspiration. So in this case, the sky is something you can definitely change. It's constantly changing. So unlike the mountain, or the island rather. And then the other thing is, when you're painting these clouds, make sure that the darker clouds, you don't go too dark on those, because they are up in the sky, and in reality they are fairly misty and not solid. Even though I like to think of them as solid shapes, they are vapor. And so you want to stay lighter on your tones, even though it does look dark. And I did get a little too dark in this and had to go back and fix that. I did tone this canvas using walnut oil and paint, so it's pretty smooth painting across it, and it really, I like the feel of it. Some people might not like that more slick feeling to it, but it's not as hard to get the paint built up on it. It's not like struggling with moving my paintbrush across. It doesn't seem to have as much tooth to it. And some people might not like that, as I said, but I like this for the sky because it's fluid. For me, it feels fluid. You want a variety of strokes in the sky. So not all going in one direction, in other words. And you'll see me doing that at first, and then you'll see me adding more layers of paint in there, thicker paint, and then I'll put in varying strokes in there later. I love these pieces of light that I see that lay across the tops of the clouds, and so I try to paint those in. If you lay one value, one color next to another, one value next to another, you can cause the cloud to round over, to turn over. So try your skill at that, starting with the light, if it's the light on top, and then the next color layer down will be a darker tone. It works quite well. Here I am just starting to add some variety to the water, mixing my colors, going in with some lighter tones on top of the dark, without too much variation in value. I don't want it to get too busy. This is the real challenge with a photograph, as we see all the busy lines and motion in the water. But we need to remember that our scene here is about a calm, beautiful evening sky. And if I were to put all those little squiggly dark areas in the water, it would detract from the sky. Likewise, in the mountain now, you see me painting in the mountain, but I'm not veering off too far. I'm lighter because those are the parts of the mountain that are formed, that are catching the light on top of those forms. But I really don't go too light. If I went too light, I would lose my dark value of the mountain, and all you would see are the highlights. Got a really nice feel to it. I wanted it sort of that dreamy night feel. I'm steadying my arm while I paint in the moon now. I'm putting in some reflections, even though in the photograph it doesn't show reflections. But I did enhance the color, and you would see a reflection in the water. I think we're not seeing it because the sky in the photo is a light, very, very light orange color. I also am adding in a moon reflection, which would be directly straight down from that in the water. If it's light, something light reflecting on water, it will appear a little bit darker. If it is, the object is dark, then it would be a little lighter in the water. Because it is later in the day, early evening, all edges are fairly soft, and also because everything is far away. The island is far away, the sky is always soft, and the water is soft. So it is sort of a dreamy evening painting. And remember, the way to get that soft edge is to use a clean brush, a clean soft brush, and brush over the edge where you'd like that effect. there's a point in time when we need to think about, what does the painting need? There's not a whole lot more to do on this, but I wanted to clean up the sky just a little bit, make sure it's smooth and looks right. I'm about finished with this. I hope you get out and paint. I hope you try some of these fun scenes. And I hope you continue watching. I'll try to bring you interesting, beautiful scenes to paint that stretch your skills as well as mine. And that's kind of why I started this. I knew it would make me paint a lot and offer what I know to other people in a way that I could just get it out there and not worry about doing a workshop or having to be in a certain place at any certain time. But this has been a really fun journey so far, and I plan to continue for a long, long time. So happy painting. This is Lis Nielsen, artist in the woods. Thanks for watching.